It's one of the things I fell in love with. Like, it was just incredible quality in a human. And he knows in our group of friends, like, he will get a lot of calls when friends are having a bit of an issue because they know that he's just the biggest hearted person. He can see people's issues and will truly be there. Like, it's not just, okay, shut up, I've got to get off the phone.
Hello and welcome to Separate Bathrooms. We would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of this land, and pay our respects to the elders, both past and present. My name's Cam Daddo.
I'm Ali Daddo.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
It's a busy time of year.
Yes.
We're into the last quarter.
Last quarter
of 2024.
I know.
Coming home with a wet sail.
I know, it's kind of time to start buying the Christmas presents and hiding them in the cupboard.
Is it?
Getting ahead of it. Yep. You know I like to do that.
Have you started?
No. But I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
Have been thinking about it. I like to get in early.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I do.
So will you be doing shopping on the line?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where the bargains are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of bargains, we're getting two for the price of one today.
Don't we all? Well, we often.
No, we've had some singles lately.
We have had some singles.
It's been good. Two of Australia's favourite celebs, Anthony Callea and Tim Campbell, are going to be joining us in the bathroom for a chat.
I am super excited for these two. Tim is one of Australia's most versatile and really much loved entertainers. He's been a leading actor on roles on TV and primetime hosting roles to musical theatre stage roles. And he's also a recording artist and a live performer.
Indeed, he does perform live.
He does.
He does. Isn't
weird.
What a concept.
What a concept.
Anthony Callea is an ARIA award-winning powerhouse vocalist. He's undoubtedly one of Australia's finest entertainers in a career that's now spanning, 20 years, 8 albums. He's done TV concert specials, countless concert tours, major event performances and TV show appearances. This year, honey, it's their 10th anniversary.
Oh, that's nice.
Their 10th wedding anniversary. And in
They've been together longer than that, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
yeah.
their 10th wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Like, we're about to do our 33rd. Yes?
Yes.
Do the math. Yes.
Oh.
Come on, brain. Let's wake up. I'm speaking about myself, right?
Right.
So in true showbiz form, they're celebrating with 5 sold-out shows at Hamer Hall and the Sydney Opera House, presenting the songs of Elton and George with legendary orchestral leader John Foreman and his orchestra. Hopefully they won't stop at 5. We'll see if we can talk them into more.
Excited to learn more about these exceptional performers. Welcome Anthony and Tim into the bathroom.
Anthony and Tim, welcome to the bathroom, man.
Thank finally you. In here. It feels great. It's
It's echoey.
It's good reverb, and being singers, you can both appreciate singing in a bathroom.
That's so true. You do a lot of your singing in the bathroom.
Oh, that's where it all happens. That's where all the ideas happen.
And then some singing. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
I get a lot of ideas in the shower too, actually.
Yeah.
It's the running water thing, isn't it?
Well, it's either that or it makes you pee or it brings ideas on.
Or it gets you clean. Yeah.
Don't
Well, it's interesting that this podcast is actually called Separate Bathrooms because that's our number one thing as a couple. Every time we check into a hotel, we either have to have separate bathrooms or at least 2 sinks because I just refuse to share with Tim.
How do you do a separate
I'm
bathroom in a
totally with
hotel?
you.
Oh, well, I make sure that Tim's paying and we get a suite.
Or maybe Anthony's batting his eyelids, going, can we get an upgrade today?
Yeah.
What is it for you, Anthony, that you don't like sharing a bathroom? What is it? Do you think it's helpful for your relationship to not?
I think we spend so much time together. So when I'm actually having me time in the bathroom and I'm getting ready, like I like to have a drink on the counter. I like to have music playing. I like to just not rush. Whereas Tim comes in at the last minute. He's rushing. There's crap going everywhere. And I just have a different way of getting ready. And I'm a little... Sorry, babe, but I'm a little cleaner than you in the bathroom.
Cool story, bro. Let me tell you the real truth.
I was going to say, there's another side to this.
100%. Dr. Googlers have a self-diagnosis of OCD, and if I dare take up a quarter of the counter, then obviously I'm taking up too much space. So, yeah, there is a huge process, and he always say, "Oh, why don't you go first?" There's no chance in I'm going first in the bathroom to get ready. So, yeah, there's a lot of ritual going on. Anthony's one of those people that says if you need to be there at 10 o'clock, he's there at 9:20. And if we're there at 9:25, he panics.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one of those people. Oh.
Well, that's
Never
good.
late.
You're never late. That's nice.
It's funny you say that because Ali read me the riot act yesterday. She said, we have to be at the studio at what? We're on at 11. We have to be there, so we need to leave. I'm not going to be late. I'm like, we're not going to be late. She's like, yeah, but we're not going to be late because you're always late. I'm not. Am I late?
You
I just push it.
You push it, and you run like sort of. It's not like hugely late,
No.
but it just causes me anxiety.
I get it,
That's
Ellie.
what I'm just trying to like subvert the anxiety in my body.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm on Tim's team and you're on Anthony's team.
Got it.
All right.
For the
And
For the whole
moment.
podcast.
Yeah. And never shall the teams meet.
Speaking of meeting, how did the two of you first meet? What was sort of the first impression of each other?
Okay, so two very different answers there.
Twin teams?
We actually, it's a very gay story. We met on stage in a musical. So we were both cast in a production of Rent in Perth back in 34 BC. It was a long time ago. And so yeah, I was kind of very nervous because it's my first ever professional musical, and I was cast having to sing opposite Anthony Callea, and I was an actor on Home and Away. I wasn't, as much of a singer as he was, so that was a bit of nerves. When we first met,
That wasn't actually the first time that we met, apparently. I don't remember this, but you give your version of the story.
Okay, here we go. So we actually met. Okay, that's true. We actually met for the first time. I was doing, in 2007, I did Dancing with the Stars, and Anthony was doing It Takes Two, which is the kind of the poor man singing version of Dancing with the Stars.
Okay, just continue.
So the cast of It Takes Two came onto set to do a promotional performance in one of our episodes, jumping on the coattails. So it was a rehearsal because back then it was live TV. So I think they were rehearsing, and I think after they did a run, and we were walking down the corridor, and I saw him, and I just wanted to say hello. Never met him before. It literally, I wish you could see the visual. It literally, I'm walking along, he's walking along, probably with an entourage, because you know what music industry people are like. So we're walking along the corridor. I said hello. I got the biggest bitch face you've ever seen, like that resting bitch face look, and did not say a word to me.
Well, you didn't really make an impression, and you didn't look like Chris Hemsworth, so I wasn't giving you any time.
So, yeah, it wasn't love at first sight, but okay, good on you, mate. You're not Shannon Knoll.
What about me?
What about that?
I'd
love to see it with the goatee, though, mate. You could do that. You could rock a goatee, Anthony.
No, I don't know about that.
So you meet on Rent, and Anthony, did you remember that crossing in the hallway where you gave him Paddington Heights?
Absolutely do not remember
No,
that
but Tim
encounter.
did.
I don't even remember him on Dancing with the Stars, let alone Home and Away.
It was all about the Hemsworth, wasn't it?
Yeah. Are you Chris lookalike? Nah, sorry, mate.
No.
But on Home and Away, he was with one little wog, and then in real life, he went to another little wog, just
Right.
a different gender. Went from Ada to Anthony.
So after you two got together, was there anything that you discovered about each other that you didn't expect?
You go first.
Well, I suppose, we kind of loosely got to know each other on the show, even though we weren't together. And it was kind of soon after I moved to Melbourne to do another show, and we started, I don't know, it was, look, I don't want to get all kind of Hallmark carding and mushy here, but...
We do that. There is room for that.
Okay. Great, all right.
Yeah.
Well, cue violin.
Cue the music, yeah.
Great. We, we very soon kind of started dating and started seeing each other, and I think because we'd come out of relationships and we kind of, you learned good things and bad things and whatever else. I think we were kind of all cards on the table from the start in our relationship, saying if we're going to do this, we want everything out there. We're going to be completely open, honest, talk about things, because I guess having come out, and I'd come out of a long-term relationship, and Anthony had just come out of one as well, and so, you know, I wasn't ready for this.
No.
What was going on? So we were very open about everything, and it kind of worked to a point where we were going to take time. We said to ourselves, we should take time with this. I think it was probably less than 6 months we bought a house together.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, like when
With all that rent money went on to went into a house mortgage money.
Yeah.
like when we started seeing each other, like I was actually going to look for a place for my own self, and I was with my mum actually, and we were going to a few open houses, and my mum goes, just take it easy. And I said, yeah, absolutely, I'm taking it really slow. I'm going to move in by myself. I can't wait. And then next minute, we've signed a lease together, and then 6 months later we've broken that lease and we've bought a house together, and we had, you know, joint bank accounts, and it felt right.
Yeah.
And I feel as though when it feels right, then you just have to go with it, and if it all falls to crap, then you deal with the consequences afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember specifically an actual moment where you went, oh, he is the one?
Well, if you put that,
Yeah, because I think it is. I think it is that moment.
oh, it was okay.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I felt it up front. I kind of just
you?
knew instinctively this was absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're only human, babe.
You know, 17 years down the track, I've still got it right. 18 years could be a bit funny. That might be the itch
Could be a
comes in.
limit.
But yeah, correct. But although I will tell you a little story when I tried to solidify this fact.
Oh, here we go.
It was 2000. I remember this part. 2007 Christmas Eve, because Anthony was doing carols by candlelight, and I had done carols in Sydney that year, so I came down to watch. And at the end of the show, and back in the day, they used to go back to one of the hotels in the bar and have a drink, and then you kind of head up, you know. So I was staying with him in the hotel. I'd snuck off at about, I don't know, midnight or so, and previously bought about 150, 200 tea light candles and set up the hotel room. So I'd set up all these lights around there, and I made our initials, and it was, I know.
It was very lovely what he did, but this is the problem.
Okay,
he didn't know me as well back then, and after a gig, I like to have a drink or 10. And so if you're going to do something special after a gig, after I've been in the lobby bar of the hotel, like, you've just chosen your timing really badly. And so he's like texting and he's like calling, and I'm like, this is early on in the relationship, and I'm like, this guy is obsessive. Like, I get it,
Calm down.
but like, you're obsessive. And so he ended up coming downstairs and he grabbed me, and then we went back upstairs to the room, and I walk in and I see this whole, you know, thing in front of me with all of these candles lit and a beautiful bottle of champagne and like a beautiful massive charcuterie board. And I literally just looked at him and I'm like, what's going on? And then
Well, this is my moment to say, you know, we've been seeing each other. I just want to make it officially go steady, as they say in the States. So
Yeah.
I kind of, this is my official that we're dating. And he just said, yeah, I've had a lot to drink. I need to go to bed.
Oh, Tim.
That was
and I passed out.
So you blew out all the candles yourself.
Oh, no, I sat there myself. I had champagne. I had a charcuterie board to myself. Making this one
He wanted
snoring
some
in
other meat that night, but he had to just settle with the cabanossi.
I'm sorry. Anthony's from a place called Werribee in Melbourne.
Bogan.
And- Actually, I'm from Campbelltown, so look, we know our Bogan sides, but make a bit of class, Anth, bit of class.
I thought you were going to say.
Werribee is actually coming up. It's no longer the water treatment capital of the world. You know, it's a good spot now, right?
Yeah. And so is Campbelltown. Campbelltown's
Yeah.
a huge city now
It
out
is.
there. I, mean,
It
I used to see
is.
farms, and now there's just houses and things everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm lucky you didn't set the hotel room on
Well,
fire.
that's what I thought you were going to
Yeah,
say.
that's right.
Went
Yeah,
to the
so much fire
up
in
to
there.
the room and
Yeah.
there was fire alarms going off.
That was an issue, because when I was lighting the candles, the curtains were blowing. I had to turn the aircon off.
Yeah.
I had to kind of move them around as well. So there was that point too.
Yeah, that's how it all started for us.
There you go. Now, I mean, one of my favourite things in the world to do is sing with someone, and I love the feeling I have when I'm singing with someone and we're harmonising together. It's just for me, it's a great vibe, a great feeling. Do you remember the first time you guys sung together, and what did that feel like for you?
It was telethon in Perth.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, because we hadn't even started the production of Rent just yet. We were still in rehearsals, but they wanted to do a promo performance, and we literally just flew into Perth. We've sort of just met each other. We've learnt our parts, and then next minute we're on stage together singing "What You Own" from the musical Rent, and that was the first time that we actually sang together.
So what did that feel like?
Well, it was exhilarating, but also very nerve-wracking because I think literally they made the decision about 3 minutes before going on air, like whether we were going to sing or not. We hadn't learned this. We kind of literally learned the song really quickly backstage in about 5 minutes, and said, "Shall we do it?" Sure. So I guess that adrenaline is pretty amazing. But so there was a mixed bag of don't muck it up, you don't muck it up, get the notes right.
I never muck it up.
And then, you don't even remember the lyrics to your own songs.
I know, that's why I have auto cue.
No. Do you really? Do you have auto cue sometimes on stage?
Yeah, especially as I'm getting older. I don't retain certain information in my head, and one of them is lyrics, even though I've been singing certain songs for like 20 years. But I heard that, John Farnham has exactly the same problem, so I'm in good company.
Well,
I think a lot of singers would be the same.
I remember being at, it was a Los Angeles station, Grand Central Station in LA, and I was watching John Fogerty play, and he had all the lyrics projected on a movie screen at the back of the auditorium.
Oh, wow.
And I'm watching John Fogerty going, this is the best thing. He's run through the jungle and everything. Wow, how great is this?
So you get to sing along with him. Because
And then I'm looking, there's the words. I turn around away from the stage, and there he is having. That's the first time I'd ever seen or known about auto cue for singers on stage. It was pretty cool.
Well, apparently Barbara Streisand used to have her whole script on stage, even the talking in between as well.
Oh, really?
She's very personal. She's very personal.
It might have helped you at the Christmas carols when you forgot what was Rudolph the Red-Nosed?
No, Santa Claus is coming.
Santa Claus, he lost the words for Santa Claus is coming to town.
It's an intricate song. It's a difficult lyric.
It's a tough one.
It's deep. It's meaningful. It's hit him in all the feels, and he couldn't hold it together.
What if he doesn't come to town? What do I sing then? I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
He's coming somewhere, but I can't remember.
And what if Santa Claus is in a helicopter orbiting the actual place while you're singing, and you can see the audience is looking up at the Westpac helicopter with Santa hanging out, and I'm going, they just did a Santa. Okay, that's great. It doesn't even matter what I sing right now. If your relationship had a theme song, guys, what would it be?
Oh, well, we did have a song at our wedding
yes.
that we both sort of connected with this song very soon in our relationship, and we actually recorded. Did we record a version, or
no?
We've just
live duet.
We've just done a live duet of it. Alita Adams, Get Here. So I don't know why we just both loved that song, and then so when we did actually get married and we had to choose a song to play, we didn't even think twice. That was the song.
Well, we both discovered, especially when we were seeing each other initially, we were pretty busy at the time. So we were, wanting obviously early love, spend a lot of time together, but we were very busy kind of career-wise, traveling all over the place. So that song talks about, I don't care how I get there, just get there when I can kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
right.
So it was quite prolific at the time for us. And we kind of loved it anyhow.
Nice.
The words had the meaning. So we sang it at our wedding as well. That was nice.
Did we sing it at the wedding?
You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
I don't remember anything after 10:30 at night.
Do you guys do karaoke? Are you into karaoke? You must kill it if you do.
Okay.
Tim hates it.
Karaoke.
I hate it in Australia. What I do like though.
Why Australia?
not?
Is it because you're well known?
Well, I just like to have a bit of fun, especially when we go to LA, and I used to do this quite a bit. Like, there used to be this bar up the road, and they used to have a drink tab on offer if you won the competition for $300 or something. And I'm just like, okay. So we went with a few friends, and I like to make up names. So I'm usually Adam, and I'm a dolphin trainer from the Gold Coast.
Yes.
Tim's Trevor, he works for his parents' building company, and then another friend, she works in charity, and I just make up all these stories, and then we're all singers, and so we get up and
kill it.
Yeah, and then I do this whole thing. I'm like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. My go-to is always Richard Marx right here waiting. And I literally add every single ad-lib that I can. And then this is the thing that I realised very quickly when you rock up to a, very serious karaoke competition is that they don't like you if you come across like you're a professional singer and you get death eyes. And so I literally got disqualified from karaoke in LA at a gay bar.
Because you were too good. They knew. They knew.
Wow.
Yeah, I do like the story all the time. I'm always like, Adam, a dolphin trainer from the Gold Coast. Yeah.
Gosh, I got disqualified mud wrestling in Los Angeles because I was too good at wrestling. They threw me out.
That is an actual true story.
Hilarious.
I want to hear
took
more
it too
about that.
seriously.
Yeah, he was also wrestling a woman in a bikini.
Heaven.
You
Still
and
a
I go
sore
to
point.
I kicked her ass. Oh, I smashed her.
you and us go to very different bars in West
Yes.
Hollywood.
I know which bar I'd prefer to go to.
It's
Not the mud one.
They shut the mud. We called it the Razzle Dazzle. They shut it down.
Yeah, you guys probably shut it down.
We probably did.
You mentioned, or actually Tim mentioned your OCD before, but do you guys have any sort of quirky rituals that you do before you go on stage? You have something that you're like this is what we do?
I definitely have ritual. It's not a great ritual, but I'm going to be completely honest. I like to have 5 minutes to myself before I walk on a stage and have to perform. And I don't really like anyone talking to me, and I just like to have a nip of scotch and a ciggy.
Right.
And that's literally my warm-up and my little moment before I walk on stage.
Yeah, if you read all the great singing technique books, so it says that's the perfect way to sing, of course.
Yeah. But that's my little ritual.
Yeah.
What about you, Tim, pre-show?
Oh, look, 5 minutes before the show, I'm probably not even dressed yet.
Yeah,
One
it's
of those
completely opposite to me.
I guess because if you've rehearsed or you know what's going on, to me, you just let it all go by the time you're on stage. So I kind of try not to focus too much about heading on stage. So when I'm there, it's just alive and it happens naturally, even though, of course, you would have rehearsed and know what you're doing. But, yeah, I'm probably just last minute getting ready, hanging out with the band on a side stage before we head on. But
Whereas I'm a control freak. I like order.
Yeah.
I like things set up in my dressing room a certain way. I'm very particular.
and I like a separate dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Separate dressing room. That's going to be your podcast. Separate dressing rooms.
Yeah, correct. When we're on tour together, that's a must. If there's availabilities for extra dressing rooms, then Tim and I definitely have separate dressing rooms.
Yeah, right.
Oh no, we're actually about to perform at the Sydney Opera House, and I found a dressing room down the corridor.
For you?
We're down the corridor from each other. So
Oh, perfect.
You're welcome.
I love it.
That's really cool. So what's the whiskey you drink? Is it like a Fireball like the Kernigans do?
Oh, I do love a good Fireball.
How
but
good's
no.
that before a gig?
Oh, yeah. So you know who got me onto Fireball? Shane Warne. God love him. I went to his house back in the day and he
Sorry, let me just pick up that name you just dropped.
Shut up. No, I went to his house and he had the Fireball being served and I'm like, what is this? And I ended up being obsessed with it. But no, that's a little bit too cinnamon-y strong before you sing. I just, a basic Johnny Walker Black. That's
There you
right.
go. Well, see, you're more of an R&B crooner. I was introduced to Fireball from the Kernigans, Lee Kernigan and Fiona at a country gig, and they do a circle before they go on stage, like Janet Jackson, little prayer circle. But they pray to the Fireball whiskey,
Country gods.
the country gods, and it's like bottoms up, let's go have a good show. And boy, you can sing after that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Fireball.
Yeah, of course.
It's so good. Everyone's going to be listening to this, running to, the liquor store after this going, what's this Fireball thing?
You mentioned the Sydney Opera House. Tell us about that. What is this gig that you guys are doing together?
Well, yeah, we're about to head to Sydney Opera House and also Hamer Hall in Melbourne, which is quite an iconic venue in Melbourne as well. So we're about to do, it's called the Songs of Elton and George. So basically ourselves and John Foreman, Maestro, incredible John Foreman and his Australian Pops Orchestra are getting together and they're combining with our band and we're about to perform incredible kind of orchestral versions of Elton John and George Michael classics, which we're literally in the middle right now. So I mean, people might listen to this after the show, but we're right in the middle of production and getting the songs together and the arrangements together, and it's sounding pretty magical, I have to say.
Oh, wait, so there's 3 shows at Hamer Hall, and then there's 2 shows at the Sydney Opera House, and so to be able to stand on those stages and be able to share it with over 40 musicians on stage and celebrate the iconic music of these 2 legends, it's definitely going to be for me a goosebump moment. I love those 2 stages, and it's always a privilege to be able to sing in front of an orchestra. So, and to be able to do it with one of our mates, John Foreman, it's extra special.
I was on the plane the other day coming home, listening to some orchestrations, just doing some arrangements for the BVs, and I just texted Anne and said, I've just cried twice on this plane listening to these arrangements. Like they're just, they're stunning. And that's a computerized version of the arrangement. So hearing them live is going to be another level again.
Yeah. So do either of you, I mean, you both, I'm assuming, play an instrument as well. Do you play piano, guitars, anything like that?
To be honest, no, I don't. But Tim can sort of tinkle on the piano a bit.
Well, I learnt music back in school, but that was the last time. I played in a school band, so I started playing a tuba. And I still own my trombone from back at school. Yeah, it's in storage, gathering dust. I won't get it out to this show. The trombone players. Yeah, correct. All of that. So and I guess I can chord bash on a piano. You've got to give me a chord chart, but normally it happens at about midnight because we have a piano at home, and it normally happens at midnight when people are around our place late at night. It doesn't happen when I'm sober. It's kind of weird.
It's interesting though, because when I was doing year 12 in Melbourne, it's called VCE, but I ended up topping the state with Melissa Higgins at the time, Missy Higgins. No. And I don't play an instrument because as a kid, I learnt singing all by ear. But then in my VCE exam for music, I had to do like notation and listen to music and then write it all on paper. And I don't know how I did it, but I'm just like, how did I fluke that?
I know. You're Italian, it's called cash under the counter.
Oh, yeah, probably.
The Werribee Mafia took care of it.
Yes.
Exactly. You'll give 100%.
That's fantastic. How did you guys decide who was singing what? Like, I gather are you singing both songs all together, together each song, or one takes one, or...
There's a bit of both. There'll be definitely duets in the show, and there's some solo moments. And, of course, we're talking a catalogue of Elton John and George Michael.
Yeah.
So
huge.
As much as we initially had a 6-day concert together, we had to kind of break it down and throw some songs out. And there's a fair few medleys to cover. But it kind of I think we naturally... It allocated itself quite naturally, really, because some of the songs we've both done over time in different concerts and things, but it kind of made sense. I mean... Obviously, someone with Anthony's voice, incredible, kind of soaring ballads too. I'm not touching that. You're having the Lion King stuff. I'm not touching that stuff. And I've always been like, I had a dog about 15, 20 years ago called Reggie. So I've always been a massive Elton John fan.
Yeah.
And I guess I've introduced Anth to a few kind of Elton John songs too. And Anth was...
10 years ago, I actually, to be honest, I only did it because I wanted to be self-indulgent. And I read this article in the lead up that it was 30 years of Careless Whisper since it'd been released. Yeah. And as a male vocalist, I absolutely admire and still do the music of George. What did I say? John Farnham.
We started with
George Michael. I was thinking of John Foreman.
You were thinking John Farnham before. I'm thinking of bloody Fordham.
Yeah.
I was thinking of George Foreman, the guy who sells the
the grill.
The grill.
A little different.
We're grilling you two about George Foreman and Fryman and Farnham and far out.
Who are we talking about? George Michael.
So George Michael. It was 30 years. It was leading up to 30 years since the release of Careless Whisper, and I went, I just want to put on a concert to celebrate his music and be self-indulgent. And it ended up turning into a full national tour, ended up releasing a TV special. And so that, it really resonated with me and obviously a lot of other people. And so to be able to revisit these songs again and a lot of his music, but now elevate it with a full orchestra and John Foreman, it's definitely taken a new beautiful life with these songs.
Maybe there was one song that we kind of went, are you going to do that or am I going to do that? It was probably the George Michael and Aretha Franklin Knew You Were Waiting.
Yeah, I do like some.
And And I said, look, that's an 80s song and that's my era. And that's a penny parlour song for me. I remember playing the pennies for 20 cents. Or the Roll Arena on a Saturday night.
I have no idea what you're talking about right now because you're much older than me.
Yeah. Back when I watched Rage and we recorded it on a VHS.
That's
I
right,
remember,
we did.
I remember that film clip. Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember the gramophone. My old man's a dustman, he wears a dustman's cap. Hey, did either of you guys ever meet these two in your travels?
Oh, I wish I met George Michael, but Tim actually called me. You didn't meet him, but remember when we were in LA, but then I had to fly back home?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, do you want to tell the story? Yeah.
No, hello, never met. I was on the street.
No, you didn't meet, but it was actually a really great experience.
I mean, look, I was front row at Elton John's, probably the closest I've gotten. But no, we were living in LA for a little bit at a time, and Anth was back in Australia, and because I know a lot of his albums quite well, and especially his live from Madison Square Garden album, and I just could hear this music, thinking, God, someone's playing that album really loud. And then I went, hang on, that's not the lick he normally sings in that song. There's something weird going on. Like, it was just wasn't the album I was used to hearing. So long story short, I step onto the balcony. I hear this live concert happening up the road. And I think he just released an album or something. So I walk up the street in West Hollywood, as you do, outside of, I think it was Tower Records.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the car park there.
Yep.
Suddenly I hit this Elton John concert happening in a car park
Wow.
that he just performed. And then Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me starts, and Lady Gaga walks out and does a duet with him.
No.
Literally on the streets of just this random kind of car park in West Hollywood. I loved it. I was in heaven.
Isn't LA amazing for that kind of thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it just happens there. Things like that can happen on a regular occurrence,
Yeah,
especially
it's true.
around that area in West Hollywood. And
I remember the first time going to LA thinking, I'm going to see so many stars in LA, and I saw Larry Emder on that trip. Yeah.
are you really only going to stop at 5 shows? It sounds like something that could be like perpetual or...
Well, look, we would love to continue on. I mean, especially touring an orchestra as well.
Yeah.
Look, I will say that last year, for the first time ever, we did a tour together. Because I'd sung at the odd song at Anthony's concert. We hadn't really toured ever together. So we initially opened with 12 concerts, saying, see how this goes. It was called Up Close and Unpredictable. So it was kind of loosely biographical, the show, but it was a lot of fun. We started off with 12 shows. We ended up selling 27 shows in this tour.
And we're still together.
So I don't know. Like there's kind of thought cogs going right now, saying what else can we do with this? So I don't know.
Yes, we most likely will be doing.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Do you sort of get... I mean, how do you handle the pressure and stay grounded, especially in the entertainment industry? Does doing it together and, having such a great relationship really help you?
Yeah, we also just don't have a lot of friends that work in the industry.
Yeah, right. That's the same as us.
Yeah, and I feel as though it's really important. And, sometimes it's really hard to do, especially when we're working on shows together or we're working on something together, that it's hard to switch off at home, and sometimes you do have to make a very conscious effort to go, we are not talking about work tonight.
Yeah.
We are not talking about that tonight. Let's just go out and just talk about something else. Otherwise, it just consumes your whole self, and I just don't think that that's healthy for your own self or your relationship. And
also, we've gotten to a point in our careers where we produce a lot of stuff ourselves as well. So it's not just about rocking up and learn the songs and get on stage. Like these orchestral shows, we're literally producing them. Like I'm dealing with the Opera House with contracts and with production and all this kind of stuff as well. So it is a bit harder to to shut down as well, because we do have a bit of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 10% of it is singing on stage and 90% of it is kind of all the other stuff. So, but I think we found, even from the start, I think we found a good balance in that as well. And I guess one thing for us, which I found with other couples who are in entertainment, and I'm sure this crosses many industries too, but is that we've never been jealous of each other. I think jealousy was a big thing that can create a few kind of, barriers between couples, and especially with us, because we cross over genres. Like I came from more of a acting background, and Anthony singing, and we certainly crossed over. I mean, I definitely have as well, but there's been no, we kind of, oh, look, you keep singing for the rest of your life. I'll retire.
No,
I'm
see,
fine."
this is the thing. I'm very happy to retire. Like,
You're both retiring.
yeah, I'm just like, you just keep working, and I'm more than happy to go and play tennis and whatever.
Is there something that you both still really want to accomplish? Is there a big goal that both of you want to achieve?
It's funny, I think as you get older, I think very differently to what I was in my 20s and 30s. And I feel as though something does click when you turn 40 or you're about to turn 40, that those
Dude, you look 25.
Yeah, it's called a lot of Botox and filler. But I'm not going to lie.
Cameron, can you not say that? Oh, God.
Oh, you're not doing bad either, mate.
No,
you're,
not
you're
me. I'm
fine,
talking about
Tim.
Great.
You guys.
I've got to put up with Hugo for another week now. He told me I was 25.
No, but I think your priorities change. And, for me, I say that it would be great to retire and so forth. But the fact that, 20 years down the track since Idol, I still get to wake up every day and call what I do a job. It's a very privileged position to be in. So, to be able to still do that and still call myself a singer and actually, call that my work, it's I just hope that I can do that for the next 20 years.
And we have a huge amount of support online too, which really is
it's
certainly
beautiful.
don't take for granted at all, because that's a lot of your outlet these days, to be able to connect with an audience, and they come along and they come to these shows and they get involved live as well, because live is what it's about with us. I mean, social media is great, but live is where it's at.
That's
So
my number one love. Like I've always said, you can do TV and you can do radio and you can do all these other things, but as soon as you step on that stage with an audience that wants to be there and you're connecting through music, it is the best feeling that I've ever experienced. And I still get goosebumps every time I walk out on stage, no matter what the gig is.
well, you're connecting through music and dad jokes. Let's be honest.
Oh, shut up.
Oh,
Listen
there's
to
nothing wrong
you.
with dad jokes are good.
Oh, no. He has dad jokes all the time. I basically only understand about 10% of his jokes. I literally have that confused look on my face constantly every time he opens his mouth. That's our
I
relationship.
can't even remember lyrics. How are you going to get my jokes? Come on.
What's something you've learned from each other that's had a positive impact on your life?
That I need to have a lot more patience in life because I'm very Italian. I have a thought. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do now. And it's very hard to change my mind. I'm overly passionate at times, but I've had to learn that, I can't always have my way and I have to be a bit more patient. And Tim's very good at, when I say people management, he's very good at managing me.
That's also his full-time job.
Yeah. Thank you. I feel seen.
Very important. Very important.
It's kind of opposite. Well, not the opposite, but I'm very much a Liberan, and Liberans like to be people pleasers, and I had learned how to kind of look after myself a bit more, I think, when I met Anth, in a good way, like not to kind of get horrible and arrogant, but I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying like, I mean, just to kind of I guess look after myself a bit more in that way, but also I learn a lot. I mean, Anth has this kind of exterior about being the tough Italian, but those who really know him know he's just the most loving and thoughtful person, and will put himself last to everybody else. And I learned an incredible, it's one of the things I fell in love with. Like, it was just incredible quality in a human himself that he knows in our group of friends, like he will get a lot of calls when friends are having a bit of an issue, because they know that he's just the biggest hearted person. He can see people's issues. He can relate. He can offer the most incredible advice, and will truly be there. Like, it's not just, okay, shut up, I've got to get off the phone. It's it's an incredible quality that I certainly try to
Stop
take
being
on board.
mushy now.
Oh,
You're gonna-
He is.
that's so beautiful.
He's still a bastard, but that's okay.
What's called balance, right?
Yeah, that's the Liberan.
Correct.
Is there anything in your relationship that's been hugely challenging that you've overcome and that sort of made the relationship stronger?
Hugely challenging.
Maybe not hugely challenging, or has there been a challenge that you've had to sort of work together and
I
it's
just
really
think
brought you
with
closer?
with any relationship, communication is key. And I said to we both had this conversation, and I feel as though that was probably part of the reason, a reason in our past relationships that maybe they didn't work, because the communication wasn't as clear or as transparent. And I feel as though we were definitely on the same page when we first started seeing each other. We basically said to each other, it's like, we just need clear, open communication between each other. Nothing is ever too hard to say. Don't ever be frightened about saying something. If that's what you feel, then say it. And I feel as though that's been the key for the past 17 years in terms of overcoming any issues or any hurdles that, come to the surface. And that's the thing with a relationship. Like, on the facade, people might go, oh, you look so happy and it's always amazing and blah, blah, blah. But, let's be truthful. Every relationship has its hurdles and ups and downs. But I feel as though if you can just step back and try and speak calmly about situations, then you can get through those issues.
Yeah.
And I say the word calmly for my own self.
Fireball.
Correct.
Has the definition of love changed for you guys after all these years together?
Yes.
How so?
Because I find it's like everything in life. There's not the fear of the unknown, but there's expectation of the unknown. And then when you live it, you then through lived experience, you get to kind of change the definition for yourself and maybe for other people, but definitely for yourself. So what your expectation of love is, I don't think you'll ever find it, is what I kind of believe, or for me anyhow. Not that I ever went out searching for love. It came to me naturally. So it's it's for a 4-letter word, it has so much different meaning and so much different depth and interpretation to it. And, whether it's even arguing and having some disagreement and resolving that probably love has helped resolve that even. So, and that's so raw that's a part of love as well. It's not all the good rosy bits and the stuff that happens. Never do anything on February 14, but anything around that date, So for me,
we hate Valentine's.
I know. Yeah.
we are so anti-Valentine's.
I know. We'd be over it.
A lot of couples are, though. I've noticed that. Like, a lot of couples are like, oh, I can't bear it. Like, it's just a
I just don't like
Day.
being ripped off. I'm not going to pay triple the price for flowers. Like, I'm a wog man. Like, don't rip me off.
You know what? I'm going to test our relationship and bring home a bunch of servo roses on February 14 and see how it goes down.
It's also my least favourite flower, a rose.
I know.
Just remember the tea lights as well, mate. And lots of them.
Thank you.
Good story.
What about you, Ant? Has the definition of love changed for you over the years?
I feel as though I sort of agree with Tim, but for me, after 17 years, I don't think about it as a separate feeling or as a separate thing. It's basically embedded in our relationship, that 4-letter word, and it has as Tim said, it has different meanings and it pops up when you need it, and not in the mushy way all the time. And I do love that. And for me also, in regards to feeling that love from Tim on a daily basis, I've never felt more protected and secure in my whole entire life. And I feel as though that's definitely for me a aspect of feeling loved and being loved.
And we've also said to each other that if ever there's any doubt in the relationship or there's any kind of issues, because we are, we're very open with each other. Like we just resolve any kind of problem. And as much, we also try to keep our own individuality and identity as well. But we've always said, and we've said this over 10 years ago, like even early in the relationship, if anything ever was a problem, let's talk about it. And if ever we had to kind of say, this is it, we need to let it go. It's even that would be said out of love as well. It's kind of, I love you enough to kind of say we're done. To a point. Speaking of LA, I got a tattoo on my arm. Probably this would have been maybe I know, red flags here about 4 or 5 years into our relationship. But I knew at that point, and I just knew from the start, and I knew at that point, if we were to break up tomorrow and I had this tattoo, I would still love the time that we had together enough to
Right.
want to keep this on me.
No, you just said if we break up, then you can just go from AC and add TOR and just go actor.
Or ACDC, yeah.
Yeah, but like only in the last year and a half, I actually got a tattoo of Tim's name. But
It took him another 15 years.
it
but
took
here
me
we go.
another 15 years to get it. But
Now you're sure.
no, but I actually got Tim's name on my ring finger. So when I'm not wearing my ring, his name is on my finger. However,
Yeah, but how tight are you?
no, but this is the thing.
Did they spell it wrong?
No, it didn't take because apparently you don't have enough fat or meat on your fingers. So I have to go back because basically the tattoo's faded. So I don't know what that says about a
Yeah,
relationship.
but on his butt, he's got Chris Hemsworth. So,
All right. Well, let's jump in the shower, and we can wash that off your butt in the shower. We do a 2-minute shower, which means we keep the answers short, but we both want you to answer the question, okay?
Yep.
First question, tough one. Who's best dressed?
Me.
Anthony. The only label I wear is something that's got a red mark through it. It's on sale. No, he likes the real labels.
Hello, TK Maxx.
Yeah, correct.
Is there a favourite moment that you would like to relive again that you've been together? Is there one time you'd like to relive?
I feel as though, in the early days, there's, all this beautiful feeling in a relationship and the uncertainty and like, where's this going? And there's excitement there. So maybe like our first ever trip that we did overseas.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah.
We went to Thailand, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little Phuket trip.
Yeah. And it was great. Getting to know someone,
Yeah.
like when you're away with them is very different to being at home with them.
Yeah.
Okay. What habit does your partner have that you find adorable?
Oh, I thought you were about to say like annoying because there's so many.
I know, that's the twist, isn't it?
You go first. I need to think.
Oh, I love his OCD. I love that he really just loves to clean up. I love that I feel like I'm living in a display home and I can't live in my home properly. I love that if one little crumb goes on the floor, then we might as well put the house on the market because the drama is huge. I love that.
I adore when he fills the car up with petrol because I hate doing that. No, like
Oh my God, you're easy.
That's what they say. We've heard that.
Oh my God, I've got so many good attributes.
Yeah. Tim, you are the gas man. Bring in the gas.
Can I be honest? The one thing that I absolutely do adore is that most mornings, if he gets up first, I love the fact, and it just sets a good tone first thing in the morning that he makes me a cup of coffee and brings it and puts it on the bedside table and says good morning, gives me a kiss.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice tone to start for the day.
Nice.
I love that.
That is beautiful. All right, last question. Can you describe your partner in one word?
One word. I would say everything.
Oh.
Yeah. Everything sort of sums Tim up. Don't say tanned. Don't say Botox. Don't say little.
No, I think I'm going to say heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's gorgeous.
Guys, what a
It's
pleasure.
so hallmarky, isn't it?
Yeah, but we get to do that here. We cover all a lot of shit happens in a bathroom. So we go
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
we cover the
Literally.
spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for your time, you two. It was so lovely chatting with you.
Thank you. It's been beautiful. We get to shower together.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
How
I
good's
feel
that?
like that was like couples therapy.
There you go. And shook us for the show too.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Hopefully that we get to see more, in different states as well. Travel the entire country would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, and we definitely want to get into the regions a bit more too, like really
that'd
take
be
the band.
nice.
And, yeah, absolutely. But thank you. Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Well done, guys. Thank you.
My face is sore from smiling.
Great. Talking about charisma.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So joyful.
Those two guys, their relationship, so much fun, and it's like they don't take things personally.
Or
it seems.
too seriously.
Yeah, right.
In a good way. In a good way. I think they give the seriousness to where it's due, and then the rest is like a lot of play. I think that's a huge thing for keeping couples together, is that play and that joshing around with each other, and delightful.
Great stuff. All right, well, tune in next time for Separate Bathrooms. Such a pleasure doing this with you.
Oh,
It is. It is. It's great. I
thanks
love
for
it.
listening, everyone.